Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss our in-depth breakdowns from the world of Turkish entertainment. Today, we're talking about a reunion that has ignited a wave of anticipation, Akin Akinozu and Ebru Şahin preparing to share the screen again, this time in a new romantic movie. The project is already drawing attention for its promise of sweeping emotions and intense chemistry. But there's another conversation happening alongside the buzz. What is the truth about their off-screen relationship? We'll unpack the entire arc, how the rumors started, why the producers wanted this pairing, and what both actors have made clear about their private lives. Let's start with context. A few years ago, Akin Akinozu and Ebru Şahin became a defining duo of primetime television with their lead roles in Hırkay. The show was a phenomenon. Week after week, audiences tuned in for a mix of high stakes, raw emotion, and the kind of on-screen bond that is impossible to manufacture. Their scenes were clipped, translated, and shared across borders, fan pages multiplied, dubbings in multiple languages carried their performances far beyond Turkey. The legacy of that success matters, because it explains why, when whispers began about a new collaboration, interest exploded almost overnight. According to people close to the process, the first conversations were not glamorous. They weren't about posters or trailers or glossy magazine features. They were about story. Producers wanted a romance that felt both classic and modern, one that allowed two seasoned performers to bring depth to characters who don't simply fall in love but wrestle with it, fight for it, and redefine it. Scripts circulated quietly. Creative notes flew back and forth. Someone suggested a different opening set piece. Someone else argued for a quieter climax. Through it all, one principle kept returning: if Akin Akinozu and Ebru Şahin were going to reunite, the project had to earn the reunion. The speculation machine did the rest. An image of two chairs at a camera test, no names, just tape labels, surfaced on social media and set theories ablaze. A stylist posted a photograph of neutral-toned costumes on a rack. Within minutes, fans were debating whether the palette hinted at a contemporary story or a period piece with a restrained aesthetic. A location scout shared a view of a windswept road leading to a seaside town and wrote a caption about finding the right horizon. None of these posts confirmed anything. All of them intensified the feeling that something was happening. Inevitably, the old question resurfaced: are Akin and Ebru a couple in real life? The short answer, stated calmly and repeatedly by people authorized to speak for them, is no. They have great professional respect and a lasting friendship rooted in years of work. But the idea that they are romantically involved off-screen is not supported by the facts, and both sides have signaled the same boundary. It's worth pausing here to understand why that clarity matters. When on-screen partners carry the weight of constant speculation, the story itself can get crowded out. By drawing a firm line, Akin Akinozu and Ebru Şahin are giving their characters room to breathe. Behind the scenes, the creative development has focused on the rhythm of the relationship at the heart of the movie. The leads are reportedly written as equals, two people with separate ambitions whose paths collide, complicate, and ultimately challenge both of them to grow. One early draft positioned the pair as rivals tied to the same family legacy. Another draft imagined them as collaborators whose shared project unravels under pressure. In each version, the story depends on a very particular kind of chemistry, not quick sparks alone, but the slow heat of trust building over time. That's where Akin and Ebru excel. Their work in dialogue scenes has always been about listening as much as speaking, holding eye contact for a beat longer than expected, and letting silence do the heavy lifting. Casting conversations spiraled from there. A director who values precision over spectacle was said to be at the top of the list. A cinematographer known for natural light and long takes expressed interest. A composer pitched a theme built around a simple piano motif that could widen into strings for emotional crescendos. Costumes would avoid showy excess in favor of details that tell the story. The frayed collar of a jacket kept too long, a scarf that reappears at pivotal moments, a pair of shoes that signal the character's decision to stay or go. The production design philosophy was equally restrained: let the spaces breathe so the audience can hear what the characters are not saying. As momentum grew, so did the noise around the actors' personal lives. Some tabloids leaned into the trope that a convincing on-screen romance must be rooted in an off-screen one. But insiders kept repeating what needs no embellishment: Akin Akinozu and Ebru Sahin are not a couple. They are colleagues who know how to build a believable story and friends who understand the value of boundaries. In interviews, each has emphasized commitment to craft over gossip. They arrive prepared, do the work, and keep the set focused. That discipline, more than any headline, is why producers trust them with emotionally complex material. Meanwhile, the fandom has been doing what it always does best: reading clues, building timelines, and creating a communal space for excitement. Edits juxtapose old scenes from Herkai with imagined moments from the new film. Threads debate what kind of ending would serve the characters without falling into cliché. Some argue for a bittersweet goodbye, others want a bold declaration that love can be chosen, not merely found. Regardless of the preferences, one element is constant: the desire to see Akin and Ebru act opposite each other again, because their performances have a way of making even ordinary gestures feel charged with meaning. Inside the production offices, the practical work has remained the same, day after day. Scheduling is always a puzzle: balancing rehearsal time against location availability, negotiating around other commitments, and building a calendar that keeps everyone sane. Wardrobe fittings happen in compact windows. Read-throughs shift when a scene demands more time. Notes from producers are distilled into a single page of priorities: sharpen the midpoint turn, give the secondary pair a cleaner arc, protect the quiet scene by the water. That last note keeps returning: it seems the movie will give Akin and Ebru the kind of unbroken space that audiences often crave, a scene where nothing explodes and everything changes. Let's address the elephant in the room one more time, because clarity protects the work. The rumor that Akin Akinozu and Ebru Sahin are romantically involved in real life has been denied. Official channels have stated it plainly. The relationship here is professional and rooted in trust. What you will see on screen is acting, expertly crafted, yes, and built on a shared history of collaboration, but acting nonetheless. That distinction is not a killjoy, it's a compliment. It recognizes that two artists can create a world so convincing that people forget they're watching a performance. The bigger picture is exciting for Turkish cinema. A prestige romance with two leads of this caliber is poised to travel. International buyers look for stories that can move audiences across cultures, and the language of a well-told love story is universal. If the final cut delivers on the promise of the early drafts, depth over melodrama, intimacy over noise, the film could become a reference point for how modern Turkish romances can expand their reach without losing their roots. So where does that leave us today? With a familiar yet thrilling countdown. First comes a still image, two figures in profile, a horizon line, maybe a hint of wind in the frame. Then a short teaser with almost no dialogue, just the suggestion of a decision waiting to be made. After that, an interview where both leads talk about character rather than gossip, and a poster that resists the urge to shout. The marketing will likely echo the film's restraint. Confident, controlled, and anchored in the promise of strong performances. Before we close, a word about why audiences invest so deeply in pairings like this. It isn't only nostalgia for Herkai, though that history adds warmth. It's the pleasure of recognizing artists who trust each other and who invite us to lean in, listen, and care. Akin Akinozu brings a tensile focus to scenes, alert, precise, always ready to pivot. Ebru Sahin brings a grounded sensitivity that makes vulnerability feel like strength. Together, they can turn a quiet exchange into a turning point. That is the craft you'll be watching if this film follows through. What do you want from their reunion? A love story that risks a difficult choice? A final scene that chooses understatement over spectacle? Tell us in the comments. Your ideas and your attention shape the conversation far beyond this channel. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, like this video, and consider clicking the join button for exclusive behind-the-scenes breakdowns once official materials drop. We'll keep following the project with the same care we bring to every story, separating rumor from fact, and always keeping the focus where it belongs, on the work. Thank you for watching. Take care, and see you in the next video.